Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Daily Tips, sponsored by Passionate World Talk Radio Network on Empower Your Voice, Unlocking Your Podcasting Potential, Educate, Enlighten, and Entertain. This morning, we're going to talk about something that really is spoken about, but does happen in your life. And I think it's important because when I was working, I remember one day going into the office with a very sad, forlorn, unhappy face. And my boss walked in 10 minutes later, took one quick glance at me, and the next thing I knew, my phone rang and he ordered me into his office. Closed the door. He offered me a cup of coffee, stood up, fiddled with the papers in the desk in front of him, and said, Lillian, when you come to work, you leave your personal face outside the door. When you come into the office, I don't care what has just taken place at home on the way to work. But you're in work now, and I want to see a happy, positive attitude. And when you have the need to cry, go to the ladies' room. And from that day forth, I did that. And you're thinking, Lillian, what does that have to do with podcasting again exactly? First of all, whether you're working remotely or at home or in a hotel room or on an airplane or on a train, bus, automobile, you inside directs what you on the outside is going to show in appearance to the remainder or the rest of the world, if you want to put it that way. So I'm not asking you to be happy go lucky, but when you do your podcast, you put on your work face. Don't look startled. Everybody wears faces, or what I call masks. You have a mask for every occasion in your life, whether you're at work, at play, or you're talking to your son or daughter, or to your husband or to your wife. Everybody wears a mask. And depending on how you feel emotionally, mentally, physically, will reflect in your face and in your behavior. So, what's the connection with podcasting? Well, for example, if you just had a major fight with your 17-year-old son/daughter who came home late after curfew and smashed up the car on the way home and gotten a speeding ticket, you are taking your teen's baggage with you to work. And you shouldn't be doing that. And your teen's baggage and how you feel rotten, nasty, upset, angry will reflect not only in your mask, which is cracking, but also in your voice. And if you haven't figured that out, do a little investigative police work and say to yourself, okay, Lillian, what's my happy face look like? What does my happy voice sound like? What's my angry voice feel like? What's my angry mask like? I got to tell you, when I talk to my station manager, she knows when I had a rough day every single time, because not only does it reflect in my voice tone, but in my oral presentation to her, she can hear my attitude. And I bet you've had plenty of people tell you, what's your attitude, ma'am? Watch your attitude, sir. Or you probably say to the same thing to your teenage kid who for the umpteenth time forgot to fill up the gas or diesel tank after he went out on a date with his boyfriend or girlfriend. And don't deny it. Everybody has those moments, folks. It has a lot to do with your podcasting. And the fact of the matter is, when you go into that little designated space where you do your podcasting, you want to be neutral. Put yourself in neutral and think about your presentation, what you want to share, how you're going to convey it without telling them or implying to them that you're angrier than hell and you're not going to take it anymore, because your potential listening audience doesn't know what's going on in your personal or business life or your spiritual life for that matter. And frankly, my dear, they don't give a damn. Your job as a podcaster is to share your expertise, share your information, talk about your content, educate your audience, give them advice, practical how-tos, and give them a professional interview should you be doing that. Nor should you be taking out your anger, your frustration, or your anxiety on your audience and or your participants and or your guest. And trust me, I can listen to other people's podcasts and tell you what's going on with them from the way they use their voice, from the sound of their voice, and if they're doing a video, what their body language is telling me. Yes, people can suppress their anger, suppress their hatred, but guess what? It leaks out every single time. So the next time you go to do your podcast, or the next time you've been invited to become a guest on someone else's podcast, make sure you rearrange yourself internally, because it will reflect externally on you. Also remember that on April 19th at 9:30 a.m., Passionate World Talk Radio will be interviewing Vicki Esther Chang, the entrepreneur who started and created this series, The Golden Nuggets. And in this particular book, she wrote The Golden Nuggets, Digital Strategies for a Digital Future, with co-author Lillian S. Cole, that's me. And we tell you everything you need to know about podcasting. So go over to Amazon.com, put in the search Vicki, V-I-K-I, Esther Chang. Go find the book, Digital Strategies for a Digital Future. Go over, buy it. There's a workbook that goes along with it. Still want to explore? Well, I offer training on Empower Your Voice, Unlocking Your Podcasting Potential courses. Contact me, 484-364-1032. Text me, name, email, phone number, and interested in taking a class. Or message me, pwrnetworkllc@gmail.com. Name, phone number, email. Interested in taking a course, and we'll discuss it. It can be a one-on-one, or you can appear with a group of people. I prefer you come in with a partner because this is an interactive course. Whatever you're taught, I require you to actually do it, so you learn how to do it by yourself. You can see this daily tip all over again at youtube.com, PWR Network, PW Talk Radio, Facebook.com/Passionate World Radio, on educate.passionateworldtalkradio.com/masterclass, and or passionateworldtalkradio.com/blogs, and all of our social media. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, and come back tomorrow. There'll always be a daily tip from Empower Your Voice, Unlocking Your Podcast Potential, with your host, Lillian Caldwell, CEO/President of Passionate World Talk Radio Network.